All right, welcome to the Tokken podcast, where we talk all things metal all the time. I am Hazard, and with me is Grey Wolf, and today we're talking about disappointing title tracks, a subject that took quite a bit of thought, actually, which we didn't think it was going to.
Yeah, we were thinking, oh, this will be easy. And then we were looking through the bands we like, and, well, because we like them, we typically like their music as well.
Yeah, that is a bit of a problem, is most of the bands that utilize title tracks are like, they're making sure that at least that one song is good. So even albums that are overall disappointing tend to have good title tracks. So this was way more difficult than expected. And so I realized that most of mine are cop-outs after a certain point. But that's fine. That's the fun part. All right, so yeah, I think the part of the hardest thing about this was just actually picking albums that were good, because, you know, if you pick a bad album, then sure, the whole thing is disappointing. So you're gonna have a disappointing title track in there, most likely, if all the tracks are disappointing. So we decided not to use that. No disappointing albums. Although there might be at least one or two on here that.
Your mileage may vary for some of these albums.
By accident. We tried, all right? That's what's important. We did our best.
You're here for our preferences, not yours.
Yeah. Or you're not here at all.
Or you're not here at all.
In any event. Cool, I'll just go ahead and start. First on the list is the song that inspired the whole topic, which is Defenders of the Faith, from the namesake Judas Priest album. What the fuck were they thinking?
Dude, I don't know.
It's just an odd, repetitive, nightmarish chant that's hardly even qualifies as a song. It's in the middle of the album, and it just seems so out. It would be out of place in any album.
Yeah,
it does not make sense.
There, I don't get it. I don't like it.
And I do like Defenders of the Faith. It has a lot of filler, I would say. I'd say it's at least a third filler, but that's like the most filler that ever fillered.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, we need to keep a track count up. Let's just
literally a nothing. It's a nothing burger.
Let's sing the album title for a minute. That'll.
You want to hear that 100 times?
Listen to Defenders of the Faith.
Listen to the song Defenders of the Faith.
Yeah.
That album, the album should have been called The Sentinel.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah. If an album, if we're going under the assumption that an album should be based off of its strongest track. Yeah, it's
even Free Will Burning. That would have been an alright title. Yeah, that would have been a pretty good title.
Honestly, either of those would have made more sense with the weird, like, tiger cat tank thing.
Is that the Defender of the Faith?
Yeah, is that the Sentinel? I don't know.
I don't think it's either. I think it's just a strange cat tank.
Yeah, it's weird.
But it's awesome.
Yeah, it is cool.
I think it looks fucking sick.
Yeah, I've never gotten the hate for it. It's like, that is the dopest shit I've ever seen.
Oh, people hate the album art?
Yeah, I've seen a fair bit of hate for the album art on the internet, but granted,
people
on the internet hate everything. But
yeah, but if you want some like anecdotes, people, especially Judas Priest fans, are insane. I got into a slight argument with somebody about this album. Was it this one or Turbo? I think it was this album, where they basically said, "What filler are you talking about? Every song on that album is amazing." Which, as we're clearly talking about, is just not true. I'd like. There's no way that anyone can listen to that album without a skip button. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't get it.
But in any event, Judas Priest fans are gonna find like something to hate, even if it's not the music. Even if it has to be you and your taste in music. I am a fan of Judas Priest music. I'm not a Judas Priest fan.
I am a Judas Priest fan. I will take that on the chin. Cannot say the same for one of our next picks, but we'll get to that later.
But not the next pick,
which
is yours.
Yes, our next pick was Alice Cooper's Trash. Now, the song itself is anything but. It's a decent song, but like a lot of these that we're going to come across today, it's just kind of decent, and it's overshadowed by another tune on the album. And in this case, you start off with Poison, one of the catchiest tunes in Alice Cooper's discography, and then you get to the title track, and it's there. Like, it's honestly more memorable than some of the other ones on here, but every time, even when I go through the album, I'm just like, man.
Yeah, I will say I'm struggling to remember any off of Trash besides Poison and Trash, and I listened to it earlier today.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. That's the other issue. But yeah, Poison starts off so strong, and then Trash just like, I hope for a bit more. Something to equal or to exceed Poison.
Yeah, it definitely... It's on this list.
Yeah, it is one of the songs on this list.
Trash really is one of the songs of all time.
Yeah.
Unlike Defenders of the Faith, which is not even one of the songs of all time.
Yeah, it's not even a song. It's just a thing.
It's a strange chant. That's really the best I could say for it. It's just kind of a weird chant. Yeah, in any event. I don't really know what else to say about that one. So we're just going to go into a segment. You like segments, right?
I love segments.
Segments are why we're here. Topics all well and good, but the segments, God.
Oh, yeah.
That's where the real juice is.
Gotta love a segment.
All right. So it's time for Build a Band.
We
fill out an interesting lineup of legends for a subgenre of metal. And for today, the subgenre we're going for is power metal. So, build your dream power metal band, or just one that you think would be kind of cool. And for a new part of the segment, we're going to give them a name, because we didn't do that last time. But every band needs a name, so we got to.
And
you want to go first, or should I?
And also, as a disclaimer, if you've clicked on this video to find out, what are these albums that I've seen on the thumbnail? These are those albums. We have bamboozled you.
Oh yeah, they're not real albums.
Welcome to the world of our fantasy.
We've made them up. And now we're going to tell you why.
Exactly.
All right, I'll just start it off.
Send it, sir.
I've got on vocals Yannis Papadopoulos of Beast in Black, who is, in my opinion, the most talented vocalist in metal today. To be honest, I don't even think it's close, actually. Like, that man is insane. He would have been like the most talented in his field, no matter which genre he decided to be in. And thank God he chose metal.
Yeah.
Blind and Frozen, absolute fucking anthem. Like, check out Beast in Black if you haven't, because boy, that band is amazing. And not in small part due to his vocals. Absolute beast in Black. You can add a little drum thing there.
Yeah.
All right. On guitar, I've got Herman Lee of Dragon Force, which is another excellent force of dragons in the power metal scene. And along with him is an Yngwie Malmsteen, which I've put in parentheses without the ego, because with the ego you just can't do that. It's not possible. He can't have the ego and be in a band with another excellent guitarist. It's not possible. So this is a lobotomized Yngwie Malmsteen. On drums, I've put Peter Alcorn of Ailstorm. And the only reason I chose him over any other power metal drummer is because he liked one of my Instagram posts one time.
Hell yeah.
That's the only reason. Shout out Peter Alcorn. Dope dude. And on bass, I've thrown Jeff Pilson from Tokken, because he can also provide some awesome backing vocals if need be. He's been doing that forever, and is quite good at both of those things. And the name of this band is Black Dragon Eco. I fucked it up. Cut that out. The name of this band is Black Dragon Ego Storm. You can dissect that at home.
Or do we just balls out on this bitch like our beautiful thumbnails?
Oh God. Yeah, I guess we could. I believe I did say in the first upload that I refuse to up the production quality of these.
Yes.
They will remain low quality, goddammit, because that's what we are. I love these awkward silences.
Oh
too.
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, that was your band. I was lost in the sauce a bit on my art, but that was Black Dragon Ego Storm. Yeah, like that would be. I think that would be a very interesting band. Like if you can, like you said, if you can get them to work,
if you can lobotomize Yngwie Malmsteen,
if you can, make Android Yngwie Malmsteen that just wants to play music and not like lead or anything. Yeah, you got a damn cooking band right there.
A powerhouse, absolutely.
All right.
Your turn.
All right.
What you got for me?
I have my personal favorite, or who I think is the best modern metal vocalist, Eric Gronwall. Previously of Heat, did a brief stint with New Horizon before he joined up with Skid Row. But unfortunately, due to his leukemia treatment, he had to drop out of Skid Row. So then he was in no bands I liked.
For like a year, right?
He was in there for a year. He did one album. An album I do like, but granted, I'm not a big Skid Row fan myself. I literally just went to that album because Eric Gronwall was singing on it. And I had a good time.
Oh, nice.
I liked it.
You know what's funny? I had actually not listened to Skid Row until today. And I went to a record store nearby my house and bought a Skid Row cassette tape.
Heck yeah.
And I listened to it, and it's quite good. I think it was their first album. It's quite good, so I'm probably going to listen to more.
Yeah, I think everything I've heard of them, I've heard a few things outside of that album, but they're pretty good. They got some surprisingly heavy riffs occasionally.
Yeah. It was like, I mean, at least in the early days, they seemed to be, even though I think they came on the scene kind of late, but they were doing some pretty great, like, glam metal, hair metal type stuff that it wouldn't have been out of place in any other band for the most part. Like, it absolutely holding their own in the era.
Oh yeah,
from what I heard.
So we've got Eric Gronwall on vocals. For my guitarist, I've picked Siu from the Japanese power metal band Galnerius. He's very much, as I mentioned on the last episode, descendant of Yngwie, albeit he has a lot more of a progressive twinge to him. And a lot of his work with Galnerius, there's times where it sounds less like Yngwie and more like even Dream Theater. Which, he's a phenomenally talented guitarist and a good songwriter to boot. So, and I have to put weeb shit on here. It's my nature.
Of course.
Coming up on drums, I went a little bit off the rails here. I went with Dirk Verburen, currently of Megadeth, but previously of Soilwork. He did one album with Cybreed.
A bit of a head scratcher, that one.
But I'm basically just picking my favorite modern metal musicians. I don't know.
That's valid.
I don't know how well he would do in power metal. He certainly wouldn't do traditional power metal drums, probably to the song's benefit, because power metal drums can get a bit boring occasionally.
Yeah, they're really just meant to be fast.
Yeah, and he can do fast, but he can also do technical and complex. So I think he would do some cool stuff with the rest of this band. For keyboards, because it's power metal, you got to have keyboards.
Yeah, I didn't even think of a keyboardist. That was a genius move.
I went with Kevin Moore from the original lineup of Dream Theater, mainly because I want to hear him play metal again. But
you're pulling him out of retirement.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he's retired at the moment. I could be mistaken, but I think he does more just I guess maybe I don't even know if I want to call it electronic things, maybe more proggy keyboard stuff. But with Dream Theater, he had such a cool like. Sorry, I just smacked my mic. Like energy that he brought into the songs. That as much as I like Jordan Rudess, he hasn't been able to match the like texture and vibe of Kevin Moore's compositions and playing, be it and sure he's not using the same equipment, so that's probably part of it. He's probably simulating part of it, but I don't know. There's just something neat about Kevin Moore's playing that I think would add even more depth to this wild band that I've created.
Excellent.
And that leaves bass. Granted, this was kind of just a plug for bass because it's power metal. Does bass really matter?
Let's be real.
Most bands
I chose my bassist based on his backing vocal capability and not on his bass prowess.
But
we're being real here.
And we'll get to this when I discuss the name, but I'm like, well, everybody else is from a different country. Why not throw another country and another language into this mix? So I go to Google and I'm like, German bass player, and I just look on the top results, pick the first one that strikes my fancy. So I went with Jens Becker of Running Wild. Because
so now we now talk about Running Wild for 2 episodes
exactly.
in a row, which is excellent.
And that's not the end of the Running Wild references today.
And or certainly not for the future either.
Oh, absolutely not. But yes, this band I would coin the Tower of Babel because most of them speak English, few maybe a bit, but none of them natively speak each other's languages.
It's honestly way funnier if none of them spoke English.
Yeah.
I actually kind of want that. I want 5 musicians that don't speak the same languages to just figure out a song together.
Sorry, Kevin Moore, you're out. You speak English too much.
Well, no, if none of the rest of them speak English, then his speaking English is fine. But in any event, that would be... I mean, I feel like that would be super interesting.
Yeah.
To hear what they would come up with lyrically. I mean, it would probably just be... Lyrics would just be in the language of whatever the vocalist speaks, because he'd probably just write all of the lyrics for himself. But I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how they would like synergize their instruments and everything. Just by ear, I guess.
Yeah.
You just need a lot of talented musicians. Pretty cool, like concept anyway. But yeah, Tower of Babel and Black Dragon Ego Storm. My God.
Ego Storm. Hell yeah.
All right, that does it for Build a Band. That was a good one. We done good.
Yeah, I like.
We need like that. We need to do a little intro for that, a little like
just make all the sound effects ourselves until we can find time to record them.
That's a great idea. This is the end of Build a Band.
Yeah. See, this is the best thing about not editing is you get to see us build the show in real time.
Yeah. We're just some guys, dude.
Just a couple of chill guys.
Really just a couple of chill guys, just hanging out. Just doing what we do. All right. Time to go back. Back for the attack.
Oh, damn you.
Now I'm back. All right. So the next album that we're going to talk about that had a disappointing title track is Dokken's Back for the Attack. And some of you fans of Dokken might be thinking, well, that song's great. What gives? And I love Dokken. I named the damn podcast after Dokken. I'm a fan of all of their albums except Shadow Life. We don't talk about that one. But the reason Back for the Attack is a disappointing title track is they didn't put it on the damn album. So they released Back for the Attack on the backside of the single for Dream Warriors, and then like way later on as a bonus track on the remaster. But if you own original copies of Back for the Attack like I do, you don't have the title track And it's a great song. It's really good.
Yeah,
and you just don't get it.
Yeah, it's one of those head scratching decisions. It's like, I off the top of my head, I can't think of which song, but there's definitely a song or two on that album that could have benefited the album as a whole if you put Back for the Attack in there instead of it.
I mean, yeah, almost certainly. I can't think of any off the top of my head either, but it's probably just the ones that are hard to remember. Honestly, probably any one of the ballads. What ballads are on Back for the Attack? I'll look up the track list real quick just because I can't remember. But like, okay, Kiss of Death is an anthem. You keep that one. Prisoner is nuts. You could cut Night by Night or Standing in the Shadows. I think Heaven Sent's so good.
I like
Mr.
Standing
Scary
in the Shadows. That one's Mr. Scary. You gotta let George Lynch do
George Lynch things.
Things. And unless it's Shadow Life, then you do not let George Lynch do George Lynch things.
Yeah. You know what we cut for it? We cut Burning Like a Flame. Just because I know people love that song, I think it's kind of boring. I don't think there's much to it. But yeah, whatever. I mean, Sleepless Night's kind of mid too.
Ooh, okay. Well, that went a little fucky.
What, the audio?
No, my drawing. Oh, yep, there it goes again.
Shit, I haven't even been looking. Let me see what you got.
Oh, yeah, behold,
you're doing.
Behold.
You're drawing the Tower of Babel.
Yes.
But just the face of the Defenders of the Faith album cover.
Dude, that took me most of our first segment to draw that.
Did you plan on drawing the rest?
No, because honestly, I kind of figured this is taking long. I'm probably going to move on to the next segment. Yeah, we got.
That's excellent. You just did you did the symbol. There's the sword. What's the sword?
Oh, that's the sword from your album.
Oh,
it's not in the ground
from Ego Storm.
But we're making our way around.
Can you give him the head of the Sentinel, presumably a little like noodle arm holding the sword?
Oh yeah. 100%.
Give him a little stick. Give him a stick figure body.
100%.
This is actually the original vision that Judas Priest had for this creature, was to just be a little stick guy. Is he fucking King Konging the Tower of Babel?
Oh yeah.
Have him swat down a plane with that sword.
Hold on. What? Oh shit! What color is his body?
Red and yellow and something.
So we're gonna do a little. We're gonna sidetrack for Art Corner as you watch me stumble through making this horrid abomination you see before you.
What the people are here for.
Oh yeah. Well, what else would you be here? Insightful commentary? Psh.
Certainly not. Actually, they're here for the long, awkward silences.
Yeah, long, awkward silences, bad jokes.
That's what I'm here for.
That's what the people want.
I'm here for the long, awkward silences. Are you giving him Mario overalls right now?
No, he's got like little miniguns on the side that I'm.
Those are his suspenders right there. Sorry.
He's got miniguns. He's got miniguns. No, I want to do a darker yellow on that. Sorry, what? I need to get us going. Back for the Attack. Really good. Yeah, that should have been on the damn record, but it wasn't. Next up.
And the fact that I don't know why it wasn't on the album. It's so, in conclusion, Back for the Attack is a disappointing title track by omission. Next.
I'm probably going to get some flack for this, and I feel like that's why it was assigned for me to discuss.
Almost certainly. Well, you said it.
True.
You brought it up.
That is, I will not deny. But
I agree with you, but you brought it up.
But enough beating around the bush. The next disappointing title track is The Number of the Beast from Iron Maiden. And boy, oh boy, is it a song. I was listening to it on the way back, and I was like, this intro riff's kind of good. And then, 6 minutes later or whatever, I was like, oh, we're on the next song. What just happened?
Yeah. It's like it's so boring that you teleport. You time travel.
Yeah, it's not offensive.
I really got that same. I got that. I basically had the exact same experience listening to it again earlier today. That's kind of hilarious that you brought that up.
It's not offensive by any means. because like we've listened to some absolute heinous garbage.
Oh
And
God, yeah. I want to talk about offensive. Listen to Dokken Shadow Life. That's
Yeah.
offensive to all your senses. Fuck George Lynch. Ugh.
Do you like Soundgarden? Do you like Soundgarden done really bad? Shadow Life may be for you.
Yeah. Do you like George Lynch putting a gun to Don Dokken's head and telling him to do Soundgarden in a shed? Not really.
Yeah,
Hyperbole, of course.
this is also probably the closest we've gotten to breaking our has to be a song from a at least decent album. Because I'm not gonna be honest, I'm not a giant fan of Number of the Beast in general. I mean, you got Run to the Hills.
Hallowed be thy name and
Hallowed
Run to
be
the
thy
Hills.
name. That's
Those songs save it. I think Invaders is great too.
yeah.
Invaders is a very good like starting track.
But at the same time, it's not like offensively bad. So it's
No, certainly not.
But I mean,
It sounds like it honestly almost sounds like an Iron Maiden tribute.
yeah.
These days, like the way with what they've done since, it almost sounds like someone else trying to be Iron Maiden. But yeah, which I guess is, I don't know. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, no.
That's the sense I get from it.
I agree, and I think maybe some of that is due to Paul Di'Anno's departure. Maybe there was some kind of writing shakeup in between. I don't know for certain, but
maybe hadn't found their new like sound quite yet. But I don't know. I mean that album is huge, and people swear by it, and it's just not close to their. Yeah, it's not close to their worst either.
No, not at all.
Let's be perfectly clear about that.
I would never dare to say that is some of their worst. It's just maybe a tad uninspired.
And simply by having "Hallowed Be Thy Name" in it, it's like in their top 5 for me. That's all it needed to have.
It is a good song. It is a good song.
A damn good song. Love that song. All right, but yeah, disappointing. So yeah, more things I had to say about Number of the Beast, the song specifically, is that unnecessary narrating intro. I like when some bands do it, but in Manowar specifically, I like when Manowar narration because they get fucking Orson Welles and Christopher Lee to do their narration, you know?
Yeah.
It's awesome. But I don't know. I don't think every band needs to have. There are multiple songs on Number of the Beast that have a narrator introing it.
Huh.
I can't remember what the other one was. There's at least 2. I cannot remember. It might have been Invaders, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But I may be wrong. I don't remember. But I just thought it was unnecessary. And that was the last thing I remember about the damn song.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we're done fucking ending our careers before it begins by talking shit about Number of the Beast.
Yep.
And since we love segments, it's time for another segment.
Woo!
Virtuoso versus.
Virtuoso
versus. That was good. I like that.
Good. Yeah.
Do that on the guitar now, and then we'll put it in. We won't put it in.
If I can.
That would require editing.
Yeah.
Time.
We don't do that here. We are busy men.
Absolutely not. So what we're gonna do? We both choose a master of metal and put them head to head in a debate of metallic superiority, with the caveat, of course, that they're both amazing.
Yes.
And on today's, do I go first or you go first? Because we actually talked about this one beforehand, since the last time was a little bit iffy.
I guess Eddie gets a
really
goatee now.
Just my choice that was bad last time.
Yeah, no, I think some discussion.
Yeah, no, I think it was a closer. I think the last one was closer than we thought, but I just don't have the discography to back it up.
Yeah,
that was of course Rob Halford versus Midnight from Crimson Glory, who just does not have the discography to make the argument in comparison. But I do think it's closer than we sort of settled on. But Rob has more, so Rob wins. But in any event, today we're doing more vocalists. I just feel like it's the easiest to do, at least for me. I play zero instruments.
Yeah,
I'm a singer.
Yeah,
it's the easiest for.
that was kind of thing. I was trying to think of like other things to do, and I was like, well, fuck, I can do a lot, but I don't know.
I mean, I can. When it comes to like guitarists too, I can confidently put. I can confidently say, oh, this person's guitar style is similar to this person's, and we can, debate their skills. But you're going to have far more expertise on that than I will. So you'll just win by default, perhaps. We'll see. We'll get there, I'm sure.
We'll get there when we get there.
But yeah, go ahead and say, because I'm sure you're excited about your choice.
Today, my pick is my boy, Tim the Ripper Owens.
Which, if you watched the last one, you'll know was on your Build-A-Band.
It was vocalist. On my inaugural Build-A-Band. Because, I don't know. I mean, the dude's awesome. The dude, even today, I was fortunate enough to see him live with KK's Priest just last year. And dude killed it from measure one to the end of the show.
Yeah, his longevity is insane.
It is.
One of both of our favorite Judas Priest listening experiences is the 1998 Live Meltdown.
It's so freaking good.
And that is so insane. How do you remember the track listing? How many tracks, like how many songs they went through on that? Because I can look it up real quick.
It's a double album's worth of music. It's it's almost 2 hours long, and it's not like they slow it down toward the end. Like Painkiller is one of the last tracks they do. Like and Painkiller is fourth to last. Yeah,
and that's after 19 other songs.
Yeah, like it is insane. The only thing I can think of is there's maybe like one or two shaky moments. Not even like things where he misses. It's just like, that note isn't quite as supported as the rest of this epic of a live album has been.
And it's potentially the greatest rendition of The Ripper that's been recorded.
Yeah, just because I mean, it's sung by The Ripper. You gotta...
The intro, my God. What's my name?
Oh, yeah. Dude, when he fucking did that at the KK's pre-show, I was unbelievably hyped. Because, I mean, that's
so sick.
Live Meltdown had been in my car stereo, for about a year straight. Yeah. It's like, I drive back home, and it's a couple hours away from where I currently live, but just put on Live Meltdown. It's a great time. It's about a little bit under the drive time to actually get there.
And it is 2 hours long. It's 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 31 seconds.
Yeah.
Insane. The longevity of that man.
Oh, yeah.
I have less information, of course, about my choice because I haven't even said it yet. But up against the Ripper is Eric Adams of Manowar, who is an absolute scream machine, akin to Ripper Owens, I think, personally. I think there's more of an argument here than maybe someone would be willing to admit. Someone maybe being you. But that's what we're going to talk about.
Actually, I think I'm going to surprise you today.
Oh.
Because honestly, I think Eric might have a better stylistic range than Ripper does. I mean,
I was going to... You know what I was going to say? I was going to put up Nessun Dorma
and dude
against whatever you wanted to put for Ripper's best track.
Exactly. Like, Ripper can't do that. Like, we even talked about it at the last episode.
Yeah, TNN.
The TNN album Ripper did. What was it? It was Kiss of Death, where he just doesn't have a melodic enough voice for it. Like, he is phenomenal at aggressive heavy metal and power metal. Like, that is his wheelhouse. Nobody does it better. I will say he does it that better than Eric Adams. I'll fight you on that.
No, yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you, too. Because, mostly because Orion's Reign exists.
Yeah.
And he two of those songs, and it's nuts. That's actually just better symphonic, like, power metal than Manowar ever did. Manowar style is so strange, and I love every second of it. And they did power metal for sure. I mean, Violence and Bloodshed, Black Wind, Fire and Steel, which is an insane song. Love that song. But a lot of their songs are like sort of slower, like trotting along, just talking about how they're metal. But if you love the cheesy metal lyrics like I do, that's awesome. And you throw in the occasional Eric Adams shriek because
oh yeah, like he probably rivals Ripper with the shrieks. I mean, just listen to Spirit Horse of the Cherokee. Like that is such a fucking cool vocal line in the chorus.
It's so sick. I love that song. That song now also being further proof that every song about the Cherokee is cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to disagree. It's really hard to disagree.
I'm going to talk about one later, actually.
Heck yes.
Some people are probably really confused right now after hearing that. But yeah, no, I don't want to say one is better than the other on this one. Yeah. I don't think it would be fair to say one is better than the other. Yeah, but I think we've come to an excellent agreement that Eric Adams has a more stylistic range to where he can do, he can just throw in a fucking opera song in the middle of his album in 2002 just because he feels like it.
Yeah.
And then he can also have, a song like Black Wind, Fire and Steel where it's just like power, speed, like thrash, whatever.
Yeah.
So some combination of those things.
Yeah, he can do it all. And he's honestly exceptional in everything. It's not like a jack of all trades. Like he's pretty good. No, he is incredibly good at everything.
Yeah, damn good vocalist. One of my absolute favorites for sure. Yeah,
but
I like it. I think we've come to it. That this was good. I like this. I'm glad we did this one.
This was a good result.
This was a good battle.
No blood sports for you today, Internet.
Yeah, exactly. Feel free to rip apart our arguments in the comments.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, tell me how I'm wrong because Eric Adams says wimps and posers leave the hall. And says heavy metal all the time in his songs. Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. I don't care. That's the apotheosis of metal right there. All right, getting back into it. Though we are not quite to our final entry, I am going to be talking about The Final Countdown by Europe. Another potentially head-scratching entry from me, but you're going to want to hear me out. So I chose The Final Countdown, which, for full transparency, is a great song. I do love that song. But it's disappointing to me that this is the only song that the layman will ever hear from Europe. If that makes sense to you.
Yeah. So
many people have heard The Final Countdown. People that don't even know the name Europe.
Yeah.
Because of football.
It really is kind of.
It's a fucking tragedy. That is the only song that these people will ever know from Europe. And also like John Norum from his solo work. Because all of that stuff is excellent. Like, The Final Countdown is a great album. I really do love it. The previous album, Wings of Tomorrow, is better, in my opinion. And there are even songs on the album Final Countdown that I think are better than The Final Countdown. Maybe not so epic and grandiose, though.
Yeah.
I think certainly. I think they made the right choice using that as their title.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't one that I'm going to say that it was disappointing because of the song. It's disappointing because of the reception. That song was so pervasive that none of the other songs are known to the average person.
Yeah, it's almost, probably to a lesser extent, but it's kind of just turned into Don't Stop Believing, where...
Oh my god, yeah.
That's just their song. That's the song everybody knows.
Yeah.
When, even on the same album, there's other really great stuff. If you're not even hit the skip button, just let it play.
Just let the damn album play. Well, that's another thing, is no one listens to albums anymore. People just listen to songs. Streaming did that.
Yeah.
The fact that streaming exists, like, people just listen to songs. It's like, oh, I've heard that song once. I like that one. Throw that one on. And no one really sits down and listens to an album anymore, except for us, because we're weird.
Yeah, we just do that. We're like, hey, you want to listen to a terrible album today? Why not?
God, we've done that too many times. Why do we do that to ourselves?
I don't know. Content, sure, maybe eventually.
Self-content. Yeah. There's no one watching.
Yeah,
it's just for our own downfall.
Yeah.
God. All right, but yeah. So sorry, I'm just gonna get back to Final Countdown. Keep talking about it because even just off the rest of that album, Heart of Stone is one of my favorite Europe songs. That's an absolute anthem. Cherokee, proof that any metal song about the Cherokee is good.
Cherokee is pretty dope. I quite enjoy that song.
Trail of Tears. That's an excellent one. And then, of course, like I already said, going beyond Final Countdown, Wings of Tomorrow is just a better album that will never be heard by most people.
Yeah.
And while that may not be the fault of the Final Countdown, it is disappointing to me regardless. And so, yeah, this is absolutely a cop-out answer because I couldn't think of any more disappointing title tracks. But so was the Tokken choice. All my things will just be cop-outs, and that's fine. That's the last thing I got for that one.
All right. Yeah, I don't have much to add on that. But the next one, we're gonna take another little curveball here. We're gonna slip into some proggy territory, a little sludgier. My next pick was The Hunter off of Mastodon's The Hunter.
Yeah.
I know this isn't. It's not by far their most popular. It's not by far their most well regarded. It is my personal favorite of Mastodon's albums, but even just the placement of this song between All the Heavy Lifting and Dry Bone Valley is just kind of there. It kind of meanders along. There's some like vibes. It's got some atmosphere to it. It's once again, it's not bad by any means, but it feels kind of fillery, where it's just kind of it's almost dead in the middle between two better songs. And
you want to hear what I thought when I listened to it?
Yeah.
Why is this song called The Hunter?
Yeah, there's no urgency. There's no like sense of peril or excitement to it. Certainly no excitement.
It just plods along, which is not very Hunter-ish, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, the more I talk about it, the less I like it.
But think about back to the topic of Tokken. They have a song called The Hunter, and that song is fucking awesome.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just... Yeah, it's just that proggy, we gotta have our slow, like... Here's the song where we smoked a lot of weed.
Yeah.
Although with Mastodon, I wouldn't be surprised if that's every single solitary one.
It probably is. Except potentially the Leviathan album, which they may have been doing coke for.
Yeah.
Because that one is fucking full speed ahead the whole way through.
If I'm not mistaken on that one, I think I saw an interview with Bron Daler where in the... Like... Going up to the recording for that for Leviathan specifically, they were just like, they basically wrote the album, played it front to back on tour for like a year before they even got to the studio to like iron it out. So like that was,
oh my god,
I don't know how they managed. I feel like you would just kill the album in that process, but fuck is Leviathan good.
You would think by the time you're recording, you'd be phoning it in because you've been playing it for so long. That's super interesting. I never heard that. Another one, sorry, I almost forgot. Blood Mountain by Mastodon. Another great album. I love The Wolf is Loose. That was one of my favorite songs from them. Another super quick one. I like when they do fast stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Less so when they do the slow plodding along stuff.
And honestly,
there are absolutely bands that I love when they do that stuff, though. I've been begging you to listen to Resin recently, and they do that stuff.
I've been checking them out. I'm probably gonna try and go see them whenever they come out here.
The 29th, I think, 28th, 29th. Yeah. Yep. I'm tracking that one, even though I probably can't be there. Unfortunate, but God, they're so sick. I hope you have a similar experience that I had when I saw them live. Super cool band, by the way. If no one's ever heard of Resin, that's REZN. Really cool like stoner doom metal type band out of Chicago. They use a lot of synth and a surprise instrument that I won't spoil. Just go listen to Optic Echo by Resin, and you'll understand.
I don't know if it's the right color, but it'll do. I'll be kind of like that.
All right. Yeah, I don't think I really have anything else to say about the Hunter. If you don't,
yeah, no, I think I'm tapped out on it. It's just kind of there.
Yeah. All right. So this next one, it's kind of also a little bit of a cop out. Not really, is it? I don't know. In Waves by Trivium. We both love Trivium. My first ever live metal show was when you took me to go see Trivium with Bullet for My Valentine and Tooth Grinder.
Fucking Tooth Grinder.
If you remember, opened for them.
They were
sick ass band. Also, look up The Shadow by Tooth Grinder if you guys have never listened to that. Really fucking cool band. Yeah, such a random like sick opening act. But the mere fact that I put a Trivium song on here is saying something. Is what I'm getting at. And it's one of the most lauded of Trivium's albums. People love this album. I say people because I think this is one of their weaker albums, personally, which is a hot take. So now we have two hot takes because we have Number of the Beast and In Waves on here as the hot takes. But I just don't think that album-wise or song-wise, I guess, that In Waves holds a candle to Vengeance Falls or Shogun or The Crusade.
Yeah.
Or even In the Court of the Dragon, the most recent. But for some reason, people love the shit out of this album and this song. I watch Matt Hafey's streams a lot because he's genuinely very entertaining, and he plays a lot of his music on stream, which is cool. And people constantly ask him to do In Waves, and I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's like
I don't think it's that crazy of a song.
It's not like even you, a guitar novice, could learn. Probably all of it in an afternoon. It's very simple.
And maybe I will. Maybe that will be the first song I learn on guitar, actually, just to prove a point.
It's not all that complicated. It's a crowd pleasing song. That's about all you can really say about it. And to be fair, it was fun to hear live.
Oh yeah, and I mean the whole like the part where he's doing the guttural where he yells In Waves is awesome. Like, yeah, I get it, but everything in between it just feels kind of meh.
Yeah,
but like let's just think about every other title track from every other Trivium album, because we have Ember to Inferno, which I think is an excellent song. Ascendancy is a pretty good song, probably not my favorite, but Ascendancy is pretty damn good. The Crusade is one of my favorite metal instrumentals from any band. I love The Crusade. Shogun is probably your favorite, if I have to guess.
Oh, yeah. Shogun.
Insanely good song. Vengeance Falls is my favorite Trivium song. I honestly didn't care for Silence in the Snow, that whole album.
Yeah.
I could never get into it.
There's some okay tracks, but there's nothing special.
But Descent in the Sentence is a fucking excellent track, in my opinion, anyway. Might be slightly biased since that was the tour that they were on when we went and saw them.
True.
But I love that album. Everything. That was the first album I heard from them. So once again, possible bias, but I love it. What the Dead Men Say is a great fucking song also, even if it was a bit forgettable, because I honestly forgot about it until I was looking back through Trivium's discography again.
Yeah.
And In the Court of the Dragon is a fucking crazy ass song. Dope song. Really cool. Love that song. And I think the only songs in there that In Waves stands up to, in my opinion, is Ascendancy and Silence in the Snow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. But it's so popular. That's like the reason that I chose that one. People love that song, and I just don't think it's what everyone thinks.
Yeah,
and I love Trivium. I have fucking Trivium tattoo on my forearm. I love Trivium.
It's like, yeah, I get why they made it the title track, because they knew they hit gold with it. Like, they knew this is the song that's going to make everybody go nuts at our concert. But
Yeah.
For me, it's
great for moshing.
Oh, yeah.
It is great for moshing.
It's the simplicity that just kind of bores me on it, because I like Trivium at their technical. Like, that's why Shogun's my favorite. They do a lot of really cool shit on it. Like, they even do a lot of cool shit on, like, Ascendancy and even Crusade, where it's more just kind of thrashy.
I was about to say, the Crusade, too.
They got a lot of cool shit.
Yeah.
And thankfully, they've been getting more... been getting back into that since the Sin in the Sentence. They're more, like, technical side. But it's like, yeah, that was... It's just like, you got, like, 2 riffs in the entire thing. You got the verse, yep, and then you have the chorus riff, and then you do that like 3 or 4 times, and that's the song. It's like,
exactly.
I can't fault him with it at all. I still like the song, but
yeah, it's a very listenable song. It's not like it's not like the Defenders of the Faith.
No,
almost said the Sentinel.
Yeah.
Like, this Defenders of the Faith is not a listenable song. It is nothing. It is a nothing track. But like, In Waves, obviously far more than that. But this isn't bad title tracks. This is disappointing title tracks.
Exactly.
And that's why we're able to get away with saying this one. But like, all that to say, if someone was trying to get into Trivium for the first time, like I was in 2017, and In Waves was the song that people were like, yo, this song is it. This is the song from Trivium. I just think that they might be a little disappointed.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right. That's the last one. There was a potential honorable mention, but I don't think it's a disappointing enough for me to even do it.
That's fair.
To be perfectly honest. So we're gonna skip that last one, and maybe we'll get back to it some other time if we feel like it.
Move on to the final segment.
Yeah, that final segment being the Stellar Showcase, wherein we choose a noteworthy band, usually a lesser-known band that we feel deserves some recognition. I already sort of just did one earlier, or 2 earlier, with Resident and Tooth Grinder, which you should check out. But I have another one.
All right, would you tell me what that other one is?
Yeah, sorry, I had to burp.
That's fine.
And so, for the other one, I've chosen the new wave of traditional heavy metal band, Traveler, who I heard recently have tragically called it quits. So this is my final plea from a fan of Traveler for them to continue making music, because their stuff is absolutely badass and the world needs more traditional heavy metal, in my opinion. So I really hate to see someone who was like a driving force in that subgenre, like, calling it quits. And I don't know what the reasoning behind that was. I've only heard it from conjecture, so I don't even know if it's 100% true, but if that is the case, that's a fucking tragedy, and I hope everyone who sees this goes and checks them out, and they get some resurgence of a fan base and decide to keep going, because, my God, were they awesome.
Yeah, they're definitely a band I need to check out, but at least
3 albums.
At least the ones that have popped up on like our heavy metal playlist.
Yes, at least Starbreaker, because I know you've heard that one. That song's fucking awesome. Everyone check out Starbreaker by Traveler, and tell me it's not a dope ass song. You can't.
Yeah, and that's a shame when you find newer bands that, like, you have, like, you're alive to experience, like, oh, these guys are so cool. I really hope they kind of like take off, and then they just kind of fizzle out and go off into the nothing. Yeah, it's damn.
That's why I was so happy. I don't want to just make this I tell you all of the bands I like segment, but I was really happy for one of them. A band I started following back in, I don't know when, in the 20-something teens at some point. Lords of the Trident, who have taken off and have continued and are still going strong, and I'm very happy about that. They're a sort of traditional heavy metal band, but more leaning towards power metal. And I love that band, so I'm glad that didn't happen to them.
Hell, they covered Anthem, so they're all right in my book.
They covered Loudness, I think.
Oh wait, yeah, no,
it was Crazy Nights.
Oh, they did Crazy Nights too? I thought we discovered an Anthem track that they did.
They may have.
Yeah. It was off of.
Now let me check it out.
It was off of Absolute World, which isn't on Spotify for some reason. Same way as Burning Oath, which
To Kill a God.
no.
No, different. That's one of their new ones. Where did they do that? Destroy the Boredom. Yeah,
Destroy the Boredom.
they did. Who did it? Someone did a Loudness cover of Crazy Nights. Who did that? Because if it wasn't Lords of the Trident, it was another band.
Oh, what was that? I think that was some
somebody did it.
Hammerfall. Hammerfall did that.
Oh yeah, Hammerfall covered Crazy Nights, which was insane to see. Such a strange song for them to do, but that's pretty sick. Yeah, okay, but yeah, Lords of the Trident did an Anthem cover, and they toured Japan all the time.
Yeah,
like they love it over there, so it makes sense. But yeah, another sick ass band. So there's two from me. You got any?
I do, in fact. Keeping with our theme of bringing up Running Wild as often as we can, this band was spawned in Sweden, taking the name of one of Running Wild's albums. Their name is Blazing Stone. They started off, honestly, more in the tradition of Running Wild as more of a pirate metal band. Their first album was, if I'm not mistaken, Return to Port Royal, playing off of Running Wild's obviously famous Port Royal. That was with one vocalist. Then they had a string of like 2 or 3 albums and an EP with my favorite vocalist of the band. And I can't confirm it because, as said, there's like almost no information about these small bands. It may be the drummer's brother, but my personal favorite album, Down in the Dark, it's almost straight pirate metal. You get one about like the Aztecs, and I think maybe one about the Conquistadors, but
I know they have the Eagle Warriors song about the Aztecs,
and like it feels honestly a lot like Running Wild, probably a bit faster at least than the Running Wild I've heard, but
which is welcome, honestly.
Yeah, if you got a hankering,
that's really not a bad thing.
If you've got a hankering for like classic, like probably late '80s to '90s power metal, Blazing Stone, that's where you got to be. Like, because I've heard a lot of people say like, oh, I thought this band was going to be like the new, it's like going to make me feel like Halloween or Blind Guardian did in the '90s. Blazing Stone, that has been the closest to feel that I've felt from those old power metal records. Because especially Down in the Dark, it has, I don't want to say very raw, but it has that raw texture to it that those old recordings did. It's not like super polished in the production room, which, I mean, all credit to the band's usual drummer, because he did literally everything except sing and the album art on that thing. Like, according to Metallum, bastion of truth that they are. He did literally everything. He did drums, he did guitars, he did bass, he did production on the entire album, and it's fucking killer. Dude shouldn't be allowed to be that talented. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
How can you lose almost your entire? You lose your entire band, replace the singer with your brother, and then make an even better fucking album? Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, that is kind of nuts, huh? But, I mean, it feels like many such cases, with, like, people that are obscenely talented in some of these bands.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, that is wild. That's like, I mean, we have a friend who's kind of like that, honestly, in his insane talent, but he uses it for black metal.
Yeah.
You want to plug him?
Fuck it. Plug away.
He goes by Somber. That's his stage name. And his project is Cosmic Mockery. Pretty fucking cool one-man black metal project. Saying as someone who really is not a black metal guy at all.
Yeah, I like one Windier album, 1066, I think. But
cool.
And then I like his album.
Interdimensional Summit, that one's pretty cool, but that's also kind of not. I mean, some of the black metal guys sort of debate whether they're real black metal or whatever, as they love to do.
If you're a black metal fan, we've probably pissed you off and be like, oh, you're all fucking posers, I ain't listening to this shit.
Wait, they're probably already gone.
Oh, yeah, probably already gone.
Metal and power metal forever.
True.
They're not here anymore.
True.
If they were.
But yeah, so if you're still here, you're probably like, I don't know about black metal. If this would be a decent one to try.
For sure.
And especially if you like smaller bands.
Yeah, the song is "Commandments Denied" off of.
Oh yeah, that was
off of Cosmic Mockery. That one is very good.
I absolutely love that song.
That's got such a fucking dope guitar part in it.
Oh yeah,
that fucking dude.
Killer riffs.
It's so good. All right. Well, I mean, that's the end. That's
the end. Thank y'all for tuning in to yet another episode of Tokken.
Yeah, of Tokken, the worst show ever made, but with a pretty fun name. And look at this fucking art.
Look at it. It's beautiful.
God.
I got the Defender of the Faith. I've got
a
whatever,
sword.
Dragon Ego Mania, whatever your album was. I'm sorry, I've forgotten.
Ego Storm.
Ego Storm.
Black Dragon Ego Storm.
Black Dragon Ego Storm. I got Tower of Babel. I've got Eddie dancing above the final countdown as the hunter.
Oh, that's what that was.
Looked to the right, and Trivium and Traveler are there.
Is that was supposed to be? I couldn't even. What is that?
Okay, so if you go to like, just
it's supposed to be the album art from their self-title.
No, it's just the top of their logo. But
the little like arrow thing.
Before we ramble on about the album art for too long, we've been here long enough. We won't take up any more of your time. Hazard, I believe you have had an outro prepared for us.
I didn't.